Well, hello. This is the Furry Guru talking Zen things. I never took any official classes, so this is kind of just little bits and pieces I had learned. And I wanted to say that a line from a movie is, "You are what you choose to be." And I am a furry, and proud of it. I shouldn't be reading these lines, but it's hard to remember on camera. I think I'm in there, I get in here, boom, gone. Oh, I forgot I'm supposed to speak like a guru, because words of wisdom should be only understood if spoken in a such fashion. Wisdom can come from persons that sound like they're bonkers out of the head. It's just you listen for it, pay attention, and then they say that thing, and you go, oh wow, words of wisdom. So, continuing that I am a furry, I am a friend to all, to everyone. I have no enemies. And as such, I don't hate anybody. I keep that in mind. This is a mantra of sorts. I do not discriminate. I don't say, oh, he's different, I don't like him. I'm going to start a club that only certain people can be in, or this event should be only for certain people. I try to be all-inclusive as possible, whether it be for persons with disabilities like myself and their special needs, my special needs, but others as well, religions and so forth. We're actually more tolerant, a lot of us, more understanding and more compassionate than a lot of certain religious persons. The religions themselves may be valid, but an individual may do something wrong or harmful. Remember, it's an individual, not the whole religion. But as a furries, although we're not a religion, we seem to be more passionate and caring and helpful and kind and friendly, and on top of our being playful and having fun and not being stuck in a little world of a fake reality that has problems, and that includes religions. You can get stuck in this little belief system and limit yourself into it. And in the world of furries, the idea is it's open community. Everybody, anybody, as much as possible. And individuals may discriminate, but as a whole, we don't, because in a way we're a better person by way of getting in touch with our inner animal. And people think of an animal as violent, destructive, but we're talking about the anthropomorphic animal, the one that has human characteristics, so that it is more what we imagine or think of that animal to be like. Maybe a lion does not actually have courage, may have strength, they may not have courage, they may chicken out. Doesn't mean there's something wrong with that lion, it's normal. But to us, a lion represents regality, strength, courage, and so forth. And no matter what fursuit I wear, I'm always going to be a lion. That's me. That's the inner me. That's a part of my soul. And to continue, I do make mistakes. We all have to understand that. We learn from them. We grow from them. And one of the things, sort of meaning of life, purpose of life, or whatever, what we're supposed to do ish type of stuff, is we continue to improve ourselves, to learn, to grow, to do better, and find out what the really good things are to learn and do and improve ourselves with. And I have been, by amounts you wouldn't believe, since I started my fursuit, since after discovering furries. Had I not discovered furries, I would be in such a restricted little world that maybe I'd be making progress, maybe meeting some people and so forth, but I would not have been doing very much at all. By comparison, I would not have changed as much. It facilitated and made it possible for me to well, not rapidly, it takes time, to significantly improve myself. And that's part of what life is about, improvement, finding what does better, works better for yourself, your feelings, and your mental health, and your physical health. A lot of people focus on the physical, but they should be focusing on the mental, because your mental health goes kabuki, so does your kabuki, kerflooey. So then goes your physical health. You stop being able to take care of yourself as well. So take care of your mind. And in process of taking care of yourself physically, you're also helping your mental health too. Both are an important part of a person. So both need to be taken care of. And they work in harmony. So, I don't know, I had this little thing, it was just a note, and it was about what I realized. Sometimes I learn, the reason why I keep repeating myself is I learn a better way to say it. And I'm trying to say it in a better way that's more accurate. And for example, you know, a friend to all, I have no enemies and so forth, and sort of on that path, is about my mother. I've made the mistake of saying, because it was a misstatement, trying to express our relationship between me and my mother before she passed away, and she did not hate me. It's what the problem was between her and me is, let's be sure I got it. She could not handle my uniqueness. She had a very difficult time with that. Somewhat with my father as well. She had difficulty with him. He was nearly deaf, just like me, and had his own problems and an injury and so forth. And she had a hard time dealing with it. That's the part she didn't like. That's the part about me she hated, is my uniqueness, which is a politically correct way of saying I have Asperger's syndrome. Some parents have difficulties with it because they expect behavior to be this way, but we behave that way. But there's so many advantages, it balances out. We're not a defect. We're a different person. But sometimes people have difficulties with what's different. My mother did. She had a terrible time with it, but I think we were still friends. So she didn't hate me. I have a hard time thinking her as loving me in a true sense, but she still was my mother, and is still the basic motherly love. It's still there. I may make the mistake again of saying she didn't love me, and she hated me, blah, 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 blah. But what I really mean, and try to remember, is that it was just my behaviors, my eccentricities, and so forth, that she had difficulties with. How she would react to fursuiting and all that, I have no idea. I would love to find out, but maybe she would be happy for me, because it changed me so much. My dad, he did love me. We cared for each other. We lived all together in the same house, but we were 4 separate individuals doing different things. My mother, myself, my brother, my mother, dad, mom, dad, my brother, and me. That was it. That was the family. But we may be living in the same house, but we were each doing our own things, so we weren't really doing much together as a family when we got into our teen years. My brother is 2 years younger than me, but I did not play that big brother role of, you know, teaching him or guiding him. It was, I was not the dominant person. I was very submissive. But Dad and I got together quite well. But my brother, like I say here, I don't know how to put it. What was our relationship? It was, on the surface, it looked like he was hateful of me, or maybe jealous. But he's a drug addict, so he was not thinking straight. Would we have been friends had he not gotten into marijuana? I don't think so, because he, like my mother, had difficulty handling my uniqueness. So it was the same sort of thing. He may have, he liked me as a brother, but that's about the extent of it. Somewhere along those lines. But I don't hate them. And that's, in a way, what being a furry is about. Because it's a goal in life, is to not be hateful. You have a disagreement with a person, they're harassing you, trolling, whatever. Try to not let it get to you, to forget about it and move on, so that you don't wind up hating that person. Find out, realize that behind that facade is a good person somewhere. It's just hidden somewhere. You haven't heard it, you haven't met them, you haven't talked with them. When you do, you might find out that they're a wonderful person. They're just venting online. So that's basically my Zenish philosophy of life. Self-improvement and being a friend to everybody, and loving and caring, because we're all on the same planet and all that sort of thing. And I feel like I have to say something more. There are others, my Zen things, borrowing that from a movie that I have, that are mental disciplines that helps me to better be in control and be less of a problem. I'm sorry, the cute kitty cats are snoozing over here. You should be paying attention. Cats. House cats. Prefer big cats, you know, we're a little more attentive. I'm being funny. So, you know, that's part of the furry scene, is we don't take life too seriously. We're trying to learn how to have fun, and to laugh, and to cry, and so forth. And you may try to say the same about many others, and to some extent they're true. I still swear that furries and fursuiting is so much above. It's hard to find many above, but better than that, but you shouldn't compare. It's just, for me, it certainly has been. Others were good people, obviously. I'm never putting down model railroaders or Star Trek fans or anything. I'm just saying that what I've discovered in furries has actually turned out for me to be something wonderful. And I think it itself, the concepts and so forth, are wonderful. In model railroading, there's a little bit of playing, but I hated saying doo-doo twang and so forth. That was a sarcasm, because we were not a bunch of kids playing with doo-doo twangs. We were model railroaders seriously building miniatures and duplicating the prototype. It was fun, but it was kept to the more serious side, and that was the side I took. But in furries, hell, we're here for playing around. It's to get back in touch with our, not only our inner animal, ourselves, but in becoming able to have fun. Sometimes it may be called immature behavior, but it's part of the thing, but it's not really, like I said, it was that bad. Walking up to somebody in a fursuit and scaring the dickens out of them. And people say, oh, that's cruel, that's mean. No, that's playful, that's fun, and that's harmless. You do not go paranoid and say, well, this could go wrong, they could be hurt, blah, 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 blah. It may happen, very rare, Just keep in mind to have fun. And we do that. We're able to do that. We're not so embarrassed. As a human being, all my eccentricities have me very embarrassed. Sound effects. And other like that, you know. And in fursuit, we can get away with it. That's such a cool part. I don't have to worry. Like a complete fool of myself. I sort of was like that beforehand. That was my philosophy, my feelings. But it was still somewhat constrained because in public, you know, just you know, whatever is different, the change of clothing or whatever would be frowned upon, all sorts of negative reaction. But in fursuit, not a problem. We may decide to make it a problem and say, Randy, you shouldn't talk in strange voices, you know, or whatever, you know. Excuse me, Excelsior. But don't worry about it. So, Zen Buddhism, you know, we are what we want. We are. Go read a book. Read the Zen things. Kona, whatever. All those lovely little things. You are what you choose to be. Because you can make out your situation to be different if you choose to do so and make the effort. So, have a great time. And I'm sorry, I'm not a house cat. My first son is a lion. I just don't care much for house cats. I prefer dogs. Go figure. This is Excelsior signing off for now. Talk to you later. I'll see if I can get up. I'm not that bad. It have to be slow. Old age, weak legs. I fell asleep. God, I love this. I love this. It's wonderful.